When you lose weight, you usually focus on what you see in the mirror, the softening of the layer directly under your skin. But deep inside the abdomen, another type of fat exists. Visceral fat wraps tightly around your liver, heart, and intestines, remaining invisible to a tape measure or a bathroom scale. This tissue behaves as an active endocrine organ. Unlike the passive energy storage found in other parts of the body, visceral fat actively secretes its own hormones and chemical signals, manipulating how your other organs function. These cells release inflammatory cytokines, such as TNF-alpha and IL-6. These proteins act as alarm signals that keep your immune system in a state of constant low-grade irritation, preventing your tissues from ever fully entering a state of repair. This chemical interference also blocks essential internal communication. Specifically, it mutes the satiety signals sent by the hormone leptin. When these messages can't reach the brain, your body remains convinced it is starving, even after you've eaten a full meal. Visceral fat serves as a disruptor to your body's survival systems. It forces the immune system into a defensive posture and creates a biological disconnect that leaves your brain unable to sense your actual energy levels. The process of dismantling this system begins quietly. When the body detects an energy deficit, either through fasting or by exhausting its glucose stores, it dispatches a series of biochemical signals to unlock its deepest reserves. Visceral fat is the first to respond to these signals. Because it is nestled near major blood vessels and command centers like the liver, it is highly sensitive to the metabolic hormones that trigger fat breakdown. As the breakdown begins, these cells release a sudden flood of fatty acids into the bloodstream. These molecules serve as high-energy reinforcements, alerting the liver and muscles to stop relying on sugar and switch to burning fat. This process also unlocks environmental toxins, pesticides, and heavy metals that the body has stored safely inside these fat cells for years. As these substances re-enter circulation, you may experience temporary fatigue or a clouded mental state, while your filtration systems work to eliminate the waste. This phase of early fat loss marks a period of cellular clearance. The temporary discomfort is the result of your liver and kidneys processing years of accumulated biological debris so that your internal systems can eventually function with greater efficiency. As the primary processing plant for the body, the liver is the first organ to receive the influx of fatty acids released by the dissolving visceral fat. Rather than becoming overwhelmed, the liver begins a process of structural adaptation. It shifts its internal machinery to handle the increased load, moving away from glucose processing to focus on fat oxidation. The liver upregulates the CPT1 enzyme, the gatekeeper for fat burning, pulling fatty acids into mitochondria for energy. This pathway produces ketones, a clean fuel reducing inflammatory waste. A 2023 Washington University study shows this metabolic transition drops ALT liver enzymes by 25%. Through this process, the liver sheds its metabolic burden. It ceases to be a storage site for excess fat and returns to its role as a high-performance filtration and detoxification system. As the inflammatory pressure from visceral fat fades, the nervous system begins to de-escalate. Cortisol levels, the body's primary stress signal, drop, allowing your immune and nervous systems to move out of a high alert state. Your cells also regain their insulin sensitivity. Without the chemical noise of visceral fat, your cells can respond to the hormone signals at much lower levels, leading to more stable blood sugar and less strain on the pancreas. At the same time, the brain begins to hear the signal from leptin once again. This restoration of satiety signaling helps bring your eating rhythms back into a natural balance, as the brain finally receives the message that your energy stores are sufficient. This cooling of systemic inflammation also affects the digestive tract. A less inflamed gut environment allows beneficial bacteria, such as lactobacillus, to flourish, stabilizing the delicate balance of the microbiome. Through the gut-brain axis, this shift in the microbiome can influence your mental state. These bacteria assist in the production of serotonin, dialing down the internal stress signals that contribute to feelings of irritability or persistent fatigue. The removal of visceral fat replaces a state of biological conflict with a self-regulating system. Once the hormonal chaos is cleared, your organs can once again communicate and collaborate with precision. The end result of this transformation is metabolic flexibility. This is the body's ability to switch effortlessly between burning the glucose from your last meal and tapping into your stored body fat for fuel. This flexibility is powered by your mitochondria. As these cellular power plants adapt to burning cleaner fuel, they ramp up ATP production. This provides you with a more consistent stream of energy throughout the day, without the crashes associated with sugar-heavy metabolism. Only after the visceral fat is cleared and the hormonal pathways are unclogged can the body effectively target subcutaneous fat. With your satiety and fat-burning hormones now working in sync, the stubborn fat under your skin finally becomes accessible for energy. This shift also stabilizes the autonomic nervous system. Your body moves out of an artificial state of fight or flight, triggered by chronic internal stress, and returns to a natural balance of rest and repair. Removing visceral fat is a shift in your internal baseline. Once the inflammatory noise stops, your organs and hormones can return to the self-regulating state they were evolved to maintain, allowing your biology to work for you rather than against you.